we Nigerians are looking for how we can make money fast. And that is the truth. But the thing with the capital market is, while yes, there are periods where you can actually make quick money.
But is it true that it's a faster way of making money there?
It can be, but it's risky.
Hello everyone, welcome to WebTV Focus program. We spotlighting issues that are of interest to household, particularly in the area of financial technology. I am Gabriel, Jude from Lagos, Nigeria. Technology now, particularly in the financial sector, is a rapidly growing industry that leverages digitalization to enhance and automate the management of wealth, encompassing investment management, financial planning, and other financial services for individuals and institutions. And so one of the main drivers of wealth tech in Nigeria is the country's large and young population, which is increasingly interested in investing and saving for their future. But the question is, how many of them are aware of these opportunities in the capital market? And that will lead us to our discussion today about using technology to onboard the informal sector in Nigeria's capital market. And I will be discussing this with an expert in the sector, talking about Mr. Benedict Egwuchukwu, an investment research associate, Afrinvest Research and Consulting. You're welcome on the program.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure.
Before we begin the conversation, let's have some reaction videos from Nigerians who have spoke about their knowledge in the capital market using technology.
Right. Okay.
All right.
Do you have any knowledge of investment in the capital market?
In the capital market, I won't say I have a broad knowledge of it, but I have an idea, and I have a lot of people who have a lot of like investments in capital markets. Let's say stocks, banking, bonds and all of that. So I do have a good idea about it. Also about real estate investments also. Right now, the economy doesn't really permit a lot of youth to go into such investments, but I believe that once you start earning enough money, that's an investment you should look into, because it's going to sustain you and your family for the next future. That's what they call building of wealth. I watched the movie back then, Wolf of Wall Street. That's how a lot of them became multi-millionaires and billionaires through stocks and bonds and all of that, and bank loans, and knowing how to leverage those kind of opportunities to upscale and bootstrap your businesses. So that's what I believe.
Online trading is very good one for youth that they are coming up. Do you get my point? So if you have maybe a small capital of money, like maybe let's say like 100,000, and you put into trading, let's say we have a new function that they just introduced, AI, that you can use, that it will help you to be trading. And like some now, they are trading on their own without AI, so they are losing a lot of money, but that AI is going to help you to boost your trading. So that is one or two that I know I can share with people that they are doing trading, because that AI is very good than to be doing it on your own.
When you're into trading, it's a 50-50 chances. You gain and you lose, in my own part of understanding. Likewise, in my crypto trading, I invest to grow. So you're investing maybe 2,000 naira in so ratios of year, month, week, as been written or agreed. You will see the numbers of what the money that's going to come in within those period of time. So if you're okay by it, then you can invest. I can remember a friend of mine told me the husband invests in MTN about 5, or I would say decades now, 5,000 naira. But now the man is receiving 2.6. Investment is part of shares. So I would say nobody knows, and not everybody not everybody. Because sometimes people on the street thinks you that are driving car now, you that is building house, you're a Yahoo boy, you're a Yahoo man, you're a fraud man and all that. But it's not on that. Some get their money through investment. And it's really important, which no, not everybody. I would say out of 100%, it's only 65 knows about investment.
Right, Mr. Egwuchukwu. Right, I get that right, I think. So before I will start with the fundamental questions, I want you to react to this video. So one of the populists said that the country economy, is not good for the young people to trade. Is that true? Is there any form of?
Yeah, actually, I was even going to respond to that. He said that the economy does not permit young people, does not permit youth to be specific. And to be quite frank, that is not true, unless I'm not understanding his categorization of what he means youth. Maybe is he referring to people between the ages of 10 to 17 or people between the ages of 18 to 30. Now, yes, there is an age limit. You have to be at least 18 and above in order to engage in sort of some stock trading whatsoever. But at the same time, it is not right to say that the economy does not permit. Quite contrary, if anything, the government is looking for younger people to actually enter into the market, to actually trade on the stock market and every other instrument like the fixed asset instrument like treasury bills and bond instrument. And they even made it more permissible, shall I say much more inviting, so much so that the capital you need to enter into the market is little. You don't even need that much to start trading. You can start with as little as 1,000 naira to start trading. So I don't actually agree with the statement. To be quite frank, the economy, I just feel like there's a lack of, shall I say, education in the economy, trying to teach people how to enter into this market. When people hear the stock market, they will hear things like, oh, I've never heard of it before. And you say, how do I enter? People are not even aware it exists, not to talk of how they can enter and start trading in that market. So that statement is quite, dicey that he made. But like I said, it depends on what he's classifying as youths. So,
Okay. So let's talk about investors' demography. And so we have seen for quite some time now that the structure of the Nigerian stock market shows that the average investor age is 52. So when you go to these investors' AGM meetings, all of that, you will see that mostly are old people, people of age. So, and then even though we still have the latest report that is not yet released, considering the fact that the ISA 2025 is being signed into, so we are expecting more young people to come into the market. But then, what must be done to onboard a new class of investor age of young people that deepens the market, in particular?
Okay, so yes, we acknowledge that so far when you take a look at the investor demography, you find out that we have much older people. But you have to understand that these people that we classify as older people, they started way back early 1990s when they were entering into the stock market. And at the time when they were entering the stock market, they had no idea what the stock market is. It was pretty much, oh, I've heard about this bank before, whether it's Zenith Bank or UBA, and it looks like they are doing very well. Why don't I put it? It was maybe much like 5 or 10 years later, they started receiving something called dividend. Like, wait, I just put in this amount and this is what they are paying me on a yearly basis. This should be interesting. I should look forward into it. And as they gain more understanding on the stock market, they started investing more into the stock market. And as such, that is why at this particular point in time, we're seeing more elderly people within AGM meetings as well as the investor landscape. But now, how do we now make the young generation, Gen Z, Gen Alpha, and even possibly some millennials enter into the stock market? The very first thing is education. Like I said, like what we've already seen based on the interaction we've seen in this video, we noticed that some people actually have no idea. Somebody said that when he was speaking, it seemed like he had a faint understanding of what was going on, but still lacking in some gaps. So right now at the moment, if you take a look at all these social media platforms, what you see publicized is betting. All your famous comedians are always saying, use my promo code, you get up 200,000 naira to start betting or anything. But nobody is actually discussing an investment. Why don't we meet these influencers rather than publicize betting? They publicize the stock market, they publicize an understanding of what the stock market is. And now you may think that, well, does it mean that the youth don't have any interest in the investment landscape? That is not true, because right now we are seeing youth engage in FX, in crypto. So to an extent, they actually do understand the concept of trading. It's just that it's not being directed in the place the government would like them to direct their energy to, which is the capital market, including the stock market, insurance. But like I said, education is going to be able to bridge that gap, because the interest is there already, but just redirecting that interest into the right direction is all that is needed.
Okay, so I love your analysis. Education. I remember vividly the last episode we have on the previous episode, so to say, on this particular digital asset and this online trading and all of that. The person I had here talked about information, education as well. And so how do we bring this education on board? Because you could see that there is a lot of gap in that education. Who are those to do this particularly? Is it the young people that are to do with themselves, or go online? And then practically we have seen that online you see a lot of things and people don't tend to believe, especially for Nigerian case. So how do we achieve this education?
Okay, so first of all, I believe that in order to educate someone, the person doing the education must have a full understanding of what they are teaching. If you don't have a full understanding, I don't think you qualify, especially if you don't even practice what you are teaching. I don't feel you qualify. And if you go back to the comedians I spoke about, these people can boast and actually put out these betting platforms quite well because they practice it. They've seen the reward of it, and that is why they can beat their chest and say, use my promo code. So how then do we redirect this in the education platform for investors or people looking to enter into the investment market? First of all, I think approaching investment firms are one key things. Like there's something that Afrinvest we did, right? And we still do. Basically, it was called Afrinvestor Pop. And what we do is we go into the universities, especially towards the final year student, and we just teach them about investments. Everything ranging from the stock market to treasury bills to bonds. We teach them, educate them on how you can save money and build long-term wealth. And then what we did was that we then held like a pop quiz, and the top 3 are brought into the firm to do like 1 month internship program. And this further broadens their understanding of what happens within the stock market. So first of all, in order to educate the young populace, we need to actually put this education in the hands of people that know what they are doing, and they are not doing it just for the sake of profit making. Obviously, profit making will still be at the side corner because people want to attract people to their impact first. But the impact is first, because if you lay that impact, that ground foundation, automatically the person that sold it to them will definitely come back to you. You taught me this thing, why not invest in your firm? Why not use it as a platform to enter into the market? Do you understand what I mean? So I feel not just investment firm, but I feel that should be the starting point. But also the government can start setting up, some infrastructure institutions that can help set the groundwork for generations, even in school education, put it in the curriculum. I mean, I know we have things like commerce. I think it was commerce, if I can recall. It's been long since I've been in secondary school, commerce. But commerce, my faint understanding of commerce only touched on the understanding of business, but did not move into finance, did not move into stock market, did not move into what a bull means, what a bear means, what shares mean. I think you start learning that in university, but that is when you want to specialize. When people that are wanting to do finance, that is when. But if you're doing economics or if you're doing medical, biology, all those things, social science, you don't get to experience all of that. So it does furthermore segregate and fragments the market in some sort of form. So in a way of making it accessible, you catch them young, the secondary school days, introduce it, if you can even call it finance if you want, but educate this populace. You might be surprised that people moving into university may want to even start taking bachelor's degrees in finance, accounting, just to elaborate it, because who doesn't like money, right? Yeah.
So let's now come to inclusivity. I mean, incorporating other sectors. So looking at the ISA 2025, does it support a fit for purpose capital market that attracts a wider range of network from, informal sector, things like market women,
Okay.
artisans, we have rural farmers, and even media, people who are into production. So how should we, design these products for them? Is it something that can be achievable, to bring these people in? Just before we begin this program, we talked about sport. So how can we bring all of these things into a product that people can invest into? So when a farmer understand what farming product is, so it may interest him or her to invest in that, because you have an understanding of that particular sector. How can we do this?
ISA 2025, one good thing about it is that it kind of expanded the inclusivity of what could be added into the capital market. Now we have things like cryptocurrency, we have things like digital assets. Now, in terms of trying to accommodate your artisans, your farmers, and this thing, it's important that we have a digitized age, right? It's important that we create digital infrastructure to capture these people. But if people don't understand this digital platform you're creating for them, in quotes, it is difficult for them to access it. There has to be a way while we're trying to digitize it, we also localize it, so to speak. And what I mean by that is, if you go and speak with the market women, if you go and speak with the artisans, you go and speak to the farmers, they actually do have a saving culture. I think it's called Ajo, where they kind of put money together. Sometimes you put money together, then 1 month somebody takes put it again. Right. So they have an understanding of saving somewhat to see how they can get money. Right? So the question is, how do we take that? Because if you take a look at the economy, over 60% is the informal sector. So which means we have a smaller percentage of people actually in capital market. But if we can take or harvest that 60% in the capital market, that would be great. But how do we do that? One way I think we can do that possibly is to create what we call ETFs, exchange traded fund, but targeted at these individuals. Off the top of my mind, what you can possibly think of is, how farmers have seasonality, right? So for example, you can decide to have bonds that target seasonal cycles. So you put money, and then in those seasons where harvests are high, they reap the reward of those bond instruments. Basically, but you have to focus or create exchange traded funds that are targeted at what they understand, what they do on a daily basis, not something abstract. For example, if you come and talk to a farmer market about MTN shares, what concerns him with MTN shares? He's just interested in how he can bring out his tuber of yam from the floor. But how can we now use that harvest period and create an ETF around it? For the artisan women, it may be around, I'm not really sure how they go about their daily business, but we can look for something within there and create a digital asset to handle all of that. So in a pretty much nutshell, just focus on localizing your digital infrastructure you're trying to create for them. Pretty much.
I think that will make a lot of sense. So now, quickly with digital asset now recognized as securities under the ISA 2025, how would this be a game changer for onboarding the young and tech-savvy generation?
Okay.
What is critical for capital markets, operators as regards to designing products in terms of inculcating and bringing in these people for the growth of the market?
Okay, so while introducing or including the digital asset as well as cryptocurrency into the new act is important, and it's quite good, and it shows more diversification and inclusion. It's also important to understand that including it alone is not enough. You have to create some sort of digital infrastructure that enables these individuals to feel like if they put in their money here, they are protected. If they put in their money here, their money is not just going to, because they're already used to Binance and the likes, right? And they've seen how the structure works. So you're not telling them that they should move their money from here and come into a new platform, but they don't understand how your platform works. So it's very important that you understand that it's not just about inclusivity, it's also about ensuring that there are structures in place to make them feel protected, to make them feel like they can trust the system. and that they are not just trying to see how you can take out money from them and maybe the return that they are getting is not quite high. And that is also one thing I even wanted to speak about. One thing that you have to understand why people are moving into these cryptocurrencies, because we Nigerians are looking for how we can make money fast. And that is the truth. But the thing with the capital market is, while yes, there are periods where you can actually make quick money.
But is it true that it's a faster way of making money there?
It can be, but it's risky. Like they say, the higher the risk, the higher the reward. The lower the risk, the lower the reward. So yes, can you make quick money? Yes. But at the same time as you can make quick money, you can lose that quick money. So you can lose all your capital one swipe, and we have a lot of circumstances like that. But the capital market offers you a situation where even where you feel like you're losing, once the cycle turns, you start gaining. So we have a period of boom and we have a period of recession. So once you hit the boom, where you think you are losing, you start picking up. I mean, take a look at the Nigerian stock market. We're currently up 41% thereabouts. But at the start of the year, you would never have thought that will be 41%. Even our estimation in Afrinvest, we had estimated at the end of the year, market would grow by 30-point-something%. But currently at the moment, we are still far ahead of the end of the year. We're already at 40%. What could be at the end of the year? So Nigerians have to understand that while yes, everybody is looking for an opportunity to make money as quickly as possible, sometimes staying in it for the long run is more beneficial.
All right. So before we wrap up the conversation, so in the area of risks, what should be for the capital market? I mean, capital-led approach in terms of mitigation to ensure investor.
Okay, so one thing, like I mentioned earlier, no matter what you are doing in the capital market, there's always going to be risk. There are always going to be risk. And this can be seen during the stock market crash we saw in 2007-2008 period, as well as when fund managers lost their business. So the problem is not necessarily the risk, but like you already mentioned, the mitigation. What do we have in place that can, assure the youth and also assure investors currently within the market that they are safe, that they are protected, and that their safety is priority before any other thing. And there's some couple of things like I always mention is, for example, now you can introduce what we call risk labels. Risk labels, the way I can explain that much more better is if you go to the market now and you buy like a product, you'll see some nutritional content like carbohydrates is this. So if you have what I call a digitized product or investment product that has risk labels that shows the risk of this particular product, the return you get, and how to enter, it makes it much easier for someone to comprehend what they are getting into and they get into it. Secondly, another thing is, now that we are in the digital age and AI is up and coming, why don't we create an AI infrastructure that keeps track and trends of everything that is happening in the market? People can see it on the landscape. Just say, okay, this is going here, this is going here. Do you understand? And they can also keep track and catches when people are doing illegal things like insider activity, things like that. So once people can see it first up front, it makes it easier for them to actually enter into the market or not enter into the market. And then, like I said, the final thing, this cannot be overemphasized, education. Without education, nobody is going to come into the market. So you have to understand, educate people on the risk of the capital market. You also have to educate them on the returns of the capital market. You also have to educate them on how to enter and how to exit. You also have to educate them on the cycles of the capital market, the boom session, the recession session. So all of that is very important. When someone has a full understanding of what they are entering into, they enter with confidence, they enter with trust, they enter with the opportunity that it is my decision that I'm making. Nobody is influencing me to make this decision.
Okay, so in 1 minute, what's your advice for young people who are interested or maybe coming into this capital market? I don't understand what it means. What are the opportunities there? What is your advice for them?
So my advice would be, first, I know that we all love money. I don't love money. I like money, but we like money. And yes, we are looking for how we can, make optimal use of our time, make more money as the time goes by. But it's also important to understand that sometimes quick money should be a red flag Making quick money should be a red flag. The capital market is not a get in, get quick money and come out immediately. It's an opportunity for you to grow long-term wealth. However, before you enter the capital market, my advice would be have an understanding of what it is you're entering. Whether it's going to be the equities market, which is the stock market, or the fixed income market, where we have treasury bills and bonds. And that is actually a much safer option because you cannot lose the capital you put in. But when you come to the stock market, you can actually lose the capital that you put into the stock market. However, like I said, having an understanding of the capital market is quite important. When you have an understanding now, I'll advise also that you have an investment horizon. Basically, what I mean is, what is your purpose for entering the market? Are you interested in dividend payments? Are you interested in capital appreciation? Having that and clearing out a goal and setting out a goal plan for yourself will let you know when to enter and when to exit the market. All of this, in a nutshell, should help you when deciding to enter into the capital market. And like I said, the capital market is not a get-rich-quick scheme at all. It's something of patience, something of understanding, and something of long-term benefits. Thank you.
Right, that has been an interesting conversation. I want to thank you, Mr. Benedict Egwuchukwu.
Yes, thank you for having me. Got that.
He is an investment research associate at Afrinvest Research and Consulting. Thank you for coming, and thank you for your time.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Right, and that will be all for WebTV Focus program today. If you want to get more knowledge and information on finance, the market, the banking, the economy and investing, please visit the brochure website, WebTV YouTube, and follow our social media platform displayed on the screen. More so, if you have any concerns or questions about what we do, please do well to put them in the comment section, and that will be appreciated. Thank you everyone for watching. I am Gabriel, Jude, and have a great day.